Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Cosmic Tea. Happy super sweaty Wednesday. There's my
Ah,
girl. Hey.
I'm trying to get my lighting to be better here. Oh,
Well,
oh
in a
well.
minute, you can use the reflection from my sweat as a
I'm
backlight.
not far off because I just came in from a run.
Okay, well, you're my hero because I have been on the road all day and it's been this is going to be really interesting for all of you. So this is a lovely Wednesday. Hello.
You look gorgeous to me. You
Oh,
always do.
thank you. Thank you so much. Right back at
I'm
you.
gonna move that back. Hi guys.
I'm so excited for today's episode because we are talking about one of my favorite things, energy, frequency, you know, uh, all of the things, how
I'm
we
just
can
gonna
cut
keep
the
moving you guys around.
do it.
Sorry to
Take us
be
take
a
us on a tour.
distraction.
It feels a little bit like MTV Cribs. Can you just say for me you think you know but you have no idea? Or is that wait, is that behind the music?
I don't know because I hate to say this. I've never seen MTV Cribs.
Oh, well, you don't know what you're missing.
I feel like I'm missing a lot in the reality TV space, but it's okay. I'm
You'll
gonna give
you'll
myself
live.
a pass.
You'll live.
We're gonna cut some cords today and teach you how, like this.
Uh-huh.
This is actually how we
To give
cut
them the
cords
deuces.
with on social media, just like that.
Yep, exactly. Just give them the deuces, right? We are going to talk about how to release the negative energy, the stuckness, all of the heaviness that maybe you carried all summer and maybe you've been carrying your entire life. But guess what? We're heading into fall. We've got some really powerful cosmic activity happening. There's another full moon in Aquarius. Thank you very much. Monday, the 22nd. And that is going to clip all of the residual energy that you haven't done on your own. The universe has this fun little Pac-Man system where if you don't do it, it's going to get done. Just might not happen the way you like it. So we're going to talk about that. Welcome to Cosmic Tea. I am Dr. Olivia Audrey. I am a board certified doctor of natural medicine, an author, a body intuitive, an Aquarius. I like long walks on the beach. This is the lovely Melissa Kathryn.
I like walks on the beach. I like gifts. You can send them to
Yes.
me. And yeah. No, and Olivia, there's so many exciting things that we have to share about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many things. So I am Melissa Kathryn. I am a holistic nutritionist, meaning that I don't just look at your diet or, yeah, holistically, I look at mind, body, soul, spirit, what's going on in your life, what's going on in your world, what's impacting you. And I am also a master hypnotherapist, life coach specializing in the psychology of food, our emotions, and self-sabotage. And I specialize in reprogramming the subconscious mind. So you are unstoppable and the limitless little badass beings that you are. That is something Olivia and I are so committed to. I myself am a body intuitive. And we both have different specialties. She's like this incredible medical medium that does what would we say, like an energetic, like MRI body scan,
Yeah, like a
and that
walking
is it.
MRI. Yeah.
Yeah, and I pull on more angelic guidance and look at energetic fissures in the body to bring back the alignment. So the two of us together, we're a little unstoppable duo. And
We're a
in
little spicy.
person,
I like
we
it.
are.
I like it spicy.
We are. Okay. So guys,
So
we're gonna dive in.
you
Liv,
guys ready? You ready for this?
we're ready.
You ready? So today we're going to talk about energy. I first, always being ever the scientist, want to dive into a few fun facts for you guys. And please comment below on how much you know and understand about energy. So you learn about energy in school, and in physics we're taught what we understand currently about energy and about frequency, right? But that is nothing compared to what awaits, and the frequency and the energy of your intention and of your soul and of the alignment of your body, mind, spirit. So the thing is, guys, that we think about light and we think about dark and we think about good and we think about bad. I mean, how many times have you ever met somebody that's like, you're like, oh, they just have a dark energy around them, or they just have a light energy around them? Even just looking outside right now, I'm looking at all the different shadows. Did you know that most of the light that is available on the light spectrum, and we're going to dive into it, is not visible to the human eye? So what is that? What is that we are not able to physically see and to have a cognition process about? That is what is unseen. And that is the most important type of energy that there is. In terms of physics, there's 7, which you know me and my 7s, types of specific electromagnetic light, right? So there's like UV, there's radiation, there's gamma, there's radio, there's infrared. I think there's 2 more. I know there's 2 more, but there's all of these different spectrums, and human beings scientifically emit all of the different 7 electromagnetic frequencies of light at one time or another. So just some science fun facts. It's a Science Wednesday for you to show that we are not only projecting light, but we're a part of it, and we're a part of energetic frequency. So we have to at some point take a look at, what is that? What is your frequency? What are you emitting? Because you are a satellite and you are sending out a signal into the universe. So you might want to make sure that it's the one that you want. Am I right, Melissa Kathryn?
Absolutely. And this is, and we were talking about this. We touched on it a little bit earlier this week in a live that we did. Was that this week? I think it was this week. I'm like, time is just passing by. But essentially, you know, I love everything that Liv shared, and really understand energetic beings. We are vibrational beings, which the frequency that you're putting out is going to attract for you or against you. I'm not saying any of this to scare you, but I do want you to recognize, I'm going to counter that with a but. I do want you to recognize that you wake up in the morning and emit a frequency. So when you wake up and you're like, shit, my God, and this and that, and I'm already behind, and you beat yourself up, and you go over the mirror and you're like, I look old, and all of it, you're emitting a frequency, and you're going to attract in other people on that frequency, experiences on that same energetic plane. You're going to attract in more of the same. You're going to get people that go, you look tired, and you're like, what? Like, why are you telling me? Well, I said to myself this morning that I looked old, right? So I don't want to put that even out there for myself, but you get what I'm saying? So we want to align to a frequency. You are a radio tower. You are emitting. So at any time, and what I love so much about life, and I get so fired up about life, because the coolest thing about it is that any time, I don't care if you have like the worst day, you can flip the switch. You can just go, okay, there are 2 paths. You can either go the path that you haven't taken yet that day, or that's maybe not the way that you normally roll, that's going to get you to where you want to be. I always say, in order to get to where you want to be, you have to do what you've never done. We are always set at a thermostat setting, and that means that your frequency is set at that same 72 degrees every day. Now, you may raise it and you may lower it, but it's always going to go back to where it's set. In order to break that setting, to break through the rubber band, you actually have to continually to choose to align to a new frequency. And that's how, when you see people break through money stories and you're like, wow, you just went from like counseling. How did you get from there up here? How did you go from homeless to multi-millions? How did you go? It's not just worthiness and other things. They changed their vibration. They started to go, wait a minute, let me look at what other wealthy people are doing. Let me get in their frequency. Let me align and do things that wealthy people do. Let me get in the energy of what it would feel like to have money. And let me change the story that I'm emitting each day, that I operate as if what I see is my reality. No, what you see is just the lens. It is not your reality. Your reality is what you choose, and that can change on a dime. So what we see is just the story that we're creating. And honestly, it's what everybody sees is so different. That's why you can look in a mirror and then somebody else could see you and go, oh my God, you look so gorgeous, or you look like you lost weight. And you're like, oh, okay, I just thought I looked really overweight today. That's the lens that you're seeing through. That is not what everybody else is seeing. So you get to decide the lens to which you want to see. And the more that you see through a new lens, watch what happens around you. Watch what becomes your reality. And that's what shifting your energy, your vibration, and your frequency allows for you to create.
Absolutely. And to sort of dovetail off what Melissa is saying, when we talk about all of this stuff, it sounds really woo-woo, right? Like energy and frequency and alignment and all of that. But the reality is that, as Melissa said, it's not just feeling worthy. It's not just going through a journal and journaling out what you want and doing a vision board and cutting all the cool ass shit pictures out of the magazine of the Lambos and the mansions and the whatever, right? It's more than that. It's actual work. It's actual readjustment and realignment. So if you look at, and we've talked about this to death, what we think has a vibration, a measurable frequency. And that's what we use in medicine when we do things called EEGs, and we study brainwave activity. If somebody's been, having a logical issue, or if they've been in an accident, we will study their brain waves with an EEG. And that will tell us what their brain is doing, what vibration, what frequency, and the power of it it's emitting. We do the same thing with a heart in an EKG. So when you compare the two of them, so this is about what we're thinking, right? This is about I'm going to do the vision board. I want the Lamborghini. I want the blah, 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 blah. And then we think about feeling, right? I feel myself in that life. I feel myself having this. Brain, heart, think, no, right? We compare these two measurable scientific frequencies used every single day in medicine. The heart is 5 times more powerful of an electromagnetic frequency than the brain. So scientifically, that shows you that it's not as powerful or more powerful to think about these things. You have to feel a certain way about them, and you have to feel in alignment with them. So check your thinking for sure. But it's also about how you feel about what you think. So make sure that that's in check as well. Because if that isn't lined, you're doing yourself a real disservice, as Melissa said. And when we talk about this alignment, it is about getting in line with each other. And to a certain extent, letting your heart be your guide. Because your heart is really the engine of your vehicle, right? Your brain is like the e-brake. And we don't want to drive around with the e-brake on, as I found out a few times. We want to be led by this powerful engine that we have, right? This measurable electromagnetic powerhouse. So if you're thinking about how am I going to determine what I want to attract? Well, first of all, you have to figure out what means something to you. And the way that you determine that is not by what you think means something to you. Again, it's what you feel about it. If you don't have passion connected to that dream, if you don't have passion connected to that vision of what you want, then it might occur, but it's going to be so much slower. And Melissa does amazing work with people when she talks about really aligning their heart in with their sense of their stories. And when we talk about cutting energetic cords, that's really what we want to do. We want to release these old stories. And Melissa, you just did this amazing video I saw the other day when you were talking about telling a different story.
Yeah, oh my God, I love so much that you said. Telling a different story, guys, and I have every one of my clients script out the reality that they want, not the reality that they have in the present. I have. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm now. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm now in perfect health. I have done this with myself. I've eradicated cancer from my body. I have healed like injuries that were there. I just had it happen today. I went for an MRI with my knee, and everybody was like, you've got this, you've got that. You might have an ACL, a torn meniscus, and this. And I'm like, nope, I'm in perfect health. I'm like, now it didn't mean that I sat and like ran myself into the ground every day, but every day I saw myself in perfect health. I'm like, my knee is great. My knee is great. I literally left there today and he's like, we don't see anything. Like there's a little bit of swelling, like just watch what you do. And he's like, I don't want to do a cortisone shot. You don't even need physical therapy. And I'm like, now, had you seen me before, it was like I had a baseball on my knee and I had, I was home with my family on a family trip and I didn't do a thing. It didn't mean that I sat and I ran and I hopped around and I'm like, I don't have any injuries, but I kept seeing it. And I really want to share with you guys, write a script that you read every day in the morning and at night. Now, Liv touched on something that is an important piece to this. In order to bring in the things that we desire, we have to feel them. And why is it so easy to bring things into our experience that honestly don't have a big charge with them? Meaning they're not something that we want so much. We're just kind of like, somebody else is like, oh my God, you're like a famous basketball player. And it's like, I never even cared about it. It just happened to be something I was talented. No, what I really wanted to do was be a DJ, right? Like there's no resistance there. So it was really easy to come into the experience. If there are things that you desire and you don't believe that they can come to you, right? Then you want to actually to something that you can believe. Like, let's just say you want to be like an NBA, basketball player. Maybe instead it's like, oh, okay, well, I started on, I ended up, I don't know, being on this team and did really well, right? And got spotted by this person or something of that nature. You have to bring something down to that believability. But it's really, really important that you actually can feel what you want. And what you will notice, and I'm going to give the car analogy that so many people have used, which is like, all of a sudden you want a new car and you see it everywhere. And that's just where you're like, yeah, because you brought it into your field. You brought the awareness and everything into your field. And that is just a way of showing you how you start attracting in. And then it's like, okay, well, how would I afford that type of car? Don't get caught in those details. Just keep bringing in, go and test drive cars like that. Bring the energy and what would it feel like to pull it into your driveway? Ease into it in that way and watch what starts happening in your world as a result. And as Liv was talking to, if you want to go deeper with that, look up heart math. And really looking at the science and the studies that have been done. One of the things that I teach is bringing people into alignment through a breath exercise. I'm a breathwork practitioner and also, as I had shared, master hypnotherapist. And one of the things that we do into breathwork for something that you desire when you're looking to get that guidance, do 5 deep breaths in through the nose, suspend the breath to calm the nervous system, and to allow to access the subconscious mind and the conscious mind to calm, which is really a nervous system. Exhale out through the mouth slowly for 5. In through the nose for 5, suspend the breath for 5, exhale out for 5. And we can do this on another video, but then you're going to bring your pointer and your middle finger and you're going to tap on your heart and ask for guidance. So if you have a question where you're really wanting support on what are my next steps, you're going to go in with your eyes closed. And after you do that breath work for 5 to 10 rounds, you tap on your heart. And at that point in time, you will be able to hear, see, or feel what that guidance is for you. So try that exercise before you go to bed tonight and listen for the guidance and also trust that you'll get it upon waking.
I love that so much. Heart math is one of the foundations of what Melissa and I do. And it's really a fundamental belief. So if you can educate yourself and understand that, it will change your entire experience within the world. So it changes how you receive the world and therefore what you experience in the world. Because everything that you are experiencing, everything in the world is just you pushed out. That experience, that's a fear or a contrasting negative belief of you that you are experiencing observation of good things, that is an aspect of a hope or a wish that spends somewhere in your energetic field or orbit, but you're experiencing it from an observer perspective. So when you think about really the basis of all theology, specifically Eastern theology, we're talking about a human being and you being the creator. And I don't mean like, oh, I do cool shit and I make myself list. You are the creator on an atomic level of your experience. You're it. You are God having an experience through a human body. And that might sound sacrilegious to you, but I encourage you, look it up. There are many religions and there are many denominations that abide by this belief that you have within you all of the power to create, as Melissa said, positive and negative. And we'll talk about that a little bit when we talk about cutting cords. Experiences. You're it. The Calvary is not. When you hear this for the first time, the Calvary is not coming. You're the general of the army, so it doesn't matter. You have within you everything that you need to not only survive in every experience, but to build upon what every experience gives you. So even in the negative experiences, even in the bad times, there is so much value because you are becoming a version of yourself that you would not be able to become had you not experienced that. It's literally the universe's extra credit classes. So if you are listening to this and you are watching this and you're like, Olivia, shit is falling apart in my life. My relationship sucks. I just lost my job. COVID, like whatever. I promise you, you are individually, and we are all collectively, but you specifically, I'm talking to you, are having experiences in your life that are building up a version of you that you are going to use at a later date. And there is a version of you that is on the other side of this. Now, the work for you is not to try to cheat the experience, is not to try to fast track through it, because Melissa and I can tell you we've been there, done that, shit don't work. But to sit in the experience, to have gratitude for it, and to reach within yourself and find that version of yourself that is on the other side of it, whether it's physical illness, whether it's shoes, whether it's whatever, and to align with that and to keep that as your frame of vision and to, sure, take account of where you are, use that as, fuel if you want, but don't get stuck in it, because where you are right now, it's like gum that's already been chewed. It's yesterday's news. What you're experiencing right now is a product of a vibration and a frequency that you had in the past. Where your power is in this moment. What do you want to create from now moving forward? And it can happen like that.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so good, girl. And here's the thing that I really want to pose to you guys as well. I was talking about this the other day, and it really spoke to my community. I want to make sure that I share it with all of you. And Liv and I were talking about this, and I was saying, it's really recognize the patterns that you have. The patterns, and they're simple ones, and they're sneaky little devils. The patterns where you go, oh, weeks went by, I've just been feeling out of it, or my hormones are off, or my gut is this, or I don't have the time, or I just don't have the money, or I've just been feeling so scattered, or I've just been feeling extra exhausted, or the moon is this, or, I really we've got to start calling bullshit on, excuse my language, on the patterns that aren't serving us, that are costing us the time that we could be putting towards investing in a future that we want. So I want you to really think about, what are the things that you see yourself say that you're like, okay, this has been my out, right? Like, these are things that I'm always saying to myself. Like, I'm always letting, like, the fact that I feel tired, or, oh, my this illness. Like, I see it a lot with, and guys, I get it. You're talking to somebody that had their thyroid removed. I've had more things with like hormone fluctuations. Liv hears about all of them. She's like my sounding board. It's like my saving grace, and this little amazing being above me right now. And like, you know, and I also, we were talking about this the other day about how quickly we're just like, and we move. We don't stay stuck, because it's so easy to go, oh, like this, like, when aren't you going to be tired when you have children?
Yep.
When aren't you going to feel like you're short on time when you're running a business and you've got your relationship and you've got a social life and you've got all these things? When aren't you going to feel like hormone fluctuations? I don't care if you have your period, you're in menopause, you don't get your period, you're pregnant. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be some sort of random thing. Like, I know we didn't all see the pandemic coming, but life is life. And so if you want something, if you have a goal, start calling yourself out on, where are my patterns? I have a pattern of getting caught in my story of exhaustion. I have a pattern of getting caught. Like, start looking at them like, oh, I'm always saying I don't have money. Oh, I'm always saying that I can't go on that retreat, or I can't invest in myself, or I don't have time for this, but then I'm grumpy and I'm having a hard time. Like, you have to start being that for yourself. And if you're not, then get somebody who is. Get people around you, positive influences. Sign up for our Awakened Woman retreat. Yes, I plugged it. But you see what I'm saying? Like, and this is something that I talked about, and all the women in my program, you know, I was like, guys, who's got this? And they're like, and I can tell you, even from myself, I had to call myself out, where I was like, I've really fallen into this thing with, like, after thyroid cancer, like this thing with my thyroid, and how it would just kind of take me out, where I'd just be like, my brain fog. It's like, yeah, I do have brain fog. I'm not discounting it was, or I don't now. I'm not discounting that it was a real thing, but how long am I going to let that be something? Like, I have to figure out other things to get around it. And if you look at people that are high achieving, successful people, they are calling themselves and going, okay, I see it. And knowing your weaknesses, I always say, is a strength, because you can create a way to maneuver around it. And then it's no longer a weakness. You found another way. You got over that mountain and you're better for it. So instead of looking at those things, go, oh, okay, I got dealt this. Like Liv and I were talking about all of this success and the huge things that we can't wait to share with you that we're up to. And we're like, oh, okay, life is, the divine is setting us up to hold even more. And instead of getting caught in like, oh my God, I've got so much to do, it's like, I'm so grateful. How exciting is this? And now, okay, I get to manage and learn how to be even more efficient, right?
Oh my God. Yes. Amen.
Sorry, I went on, I'm off my soapbox.
I love it so much, because you know your shit, and it's not just lip service. Listen to what she is saying. The woman knows what she is talking about. Okay. This is how we have helped tens of thousands of women around the world. Okay. This is what works. And there's one thing that Mel Robbins always says that I just adore, and that is that the biggest disservice that people do to themselves in terms of being successful or not successful is that we have this thought that we think we're going to feel ready for things. Right. Like, we think we're going to feel motivated. We think it's going to feel like it's the right time. Let me tell you something. It's never going to feel like the right time. People say, oh, I want to wait till it's the right time to have kids. You're never going to feel ready. And I have 3 children. You can get as ready as you want. You will not be ready. You will not be ready. I'm not fucking ready. And I have a 15-year-old. Like, you will never be ready. You know, or like being in the relationship. You'll never be ready. You have to do it now, because here's the thing. We only get so many birthdays, so many Christmases, so many Saturdays, so many whatever, and you don't know how many that is. If that isn't the most sobering and like life affirming facts that you've heard all day, you might want to check your pulse. There's never been a time to do it than now, because guess what? This is all that we have. This is all that's promised, is this very moment. Yes. And as sad as that is, that should wake you up. That should wake you up before your alarm clock in the morning. Okay. So that being said, if you love what we're talking about, if you dig it, if you want to know more, we have a webinar tomorrow night, which is free. And I can try to post the link below. But you can go on my page, Melissa's page. We're sharing it everywhere. And then
here, let me go get it while you're talking about it.
And then join us. We have a 3-day immersive retreat in Jupiter, Florida coming up next month in September called The Awakened Woman. And this is going to be life-changing. I can promise you that. 3 days, we're going to accomplish what would normally take 6 months to 2 years of life coaching. And what's better is that you're going to have this sisterhood of badass entrepreneur, high-achieving women around you that are going to support you and that want you to win too. So that's another step in cutting your energy. Check your circle. They have a bunch of assholes? They might be. Or there's at least 1 or 2 assholes. I guarantee you there's 1 or 2 assholes in your circle right now. If you are not getting the results that you want, check who is rowing in your boat and who is drilling holes.
And what you believe you're deserving and worthy of. Guys, the webinar, especially, I know we didn't get to cord cutting. We'll do a cutting energy.
Yes.
Energy from social media, cord cutting. We'll do a whole thing on that for next week's Cosmic Tea. Awaken Woman webinar tomorrow. If you want to learn how to, I don't know what was said, but we're going to dive deep into tapping into your intuition, harnessing it, learning how to differentiate between your voice and that voice, and allowing that to be your guidance system, and also how to go big in life. And as Olivia was saying, I guarantee you have some assholes. And
I guarantee
you can also see where you believe that's what you're worthy and deserving of, and how to raise your consciousness and vibration. And the Awaken Woman webinar is, you will leave there a high flying, vibing frequency, like watch out,
queen,
ending of 2021 and heading into 2022. If that's what you're ready for, and even if you're not, you want to come. You want to take one of those last spots, and we would love to have you.
And listen, for all the guys that are listening, your wife or girlfriend or sister or mom will love you forever if you send her on this retreat. This sounds like a woman in your life could benefit from this. She will love you forever. Trust us. We know. We're girls.
And you'll be grateful because of the way that she'll show up.
You will thank us later, because we will bring her back an empowered boss babe, like fully in her power, mind, body, spirit.
And mainly in her feminine. You know, that's one of the things that Liv and I specialize in, even though we're both extremely successful. And we harness the feminine power. We're not masquerading as men or emasculating men.
No.
You know, we're very much about how to do things in the feminine. And I can tell you, as somebody that did things in a masculine energy, which was very much struggle, strive, work my, like constantly around, like there's a reason why there's 2 different energies that we all have. And ladies, trust me, you want to learn how to operate from your feminine and watch what comes in. And it doesn't mean that you sit back and are like, I don't do anything and I float around in flowy dresses. It's a different energy, and it's an intoxicating energy. It is a highly attractive, attracting energy, and it's delicious. And I don't know why they don't teach this. I went to all girls school. We definitely want to invite you. We would love that. Join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. Awaken Woman webinar to connect to your intuition, tap in, leave turned on, and really achieve your dreams. And that's what we're going to support you in, and join the Awaken Woman webinar. And we have a special gift for you when you do.
We love you so much, Miss Kathryn. Always the peanut butter to my jelly. Or I feel like I'm more the peanut butter. Much. I feel like I'm more the peanut butter. You're sweet. You're very sweet. And I'm savory.
I don't know why you
hard to swallow.
Sweetest person. I don't know.
I think
we're gonna go with it.
I love you so much. And thank you for all of you. I see you're from Italy and here, all over the world yet again. We love you so much. And we are so grateful that our little project that we started for fun has grown so international. And there's so many big things still on the way. Join us tomorrow night. We all love you so much. We'll see you tomorrow night. And also back here next week for Cosmic Tea.
Bye, guys. Thank you for
Bye.
being here.